This is Things You Might Not Have Heard. I am Jacob Payne, and this today is Tuesday, August 20th, 2024. I have for you 8 news stories that were published yesterday. One of them a little late, and we'll get to that in a minute, that you deemed as conversational. So these are stories that you guys out there in the internets told us are worth chatting up. That's how we got them here. We'll explain more in detail how the process works, but I want to remind you we have great stories that include DNC Day 1, which may still be going on as far as I can tell. Also, Mike Tyson, the teaser story from yesterday, did make it in, and we are so glad. Plus, birthday love to Al Roker and more coming up. More in the vetting process, more of how we get everything here into the Things You Might Have Heard and the Conversation Project itself. But you can find out more about how we do it, why we do it, and the where's the Conversation Project is at our website. That's where we are online. This is theconversationproject.com. And, of course, email us at theconversationinbox@gmail.com for more details on chatting back and forth, getting a deeper discussion of what's going on with us in email form. Now, more calls to actions on the way. But for right now, let's get prepared for our news for today. Right off the bat, we have news for Tuesday, August 20th, 2024. And this first story is a bit of a swerve. Headline for story number 1 is Joe Biden exit, talk of the glass ceiling, and the nod to Gaza protesters. Take away from DNC's Day 1. Click the link that we have for the story, the article from AP News that does a rundown of Day 1 of the DNC convention in Chicago. Now, let's talk about it because in reality, this story is actually a replacement for the story on the 4 hosts. We had a story on the celebrity hosts that were going to be there for the DNC this week, and we used that placing, the fact that it did place so high, to do this story because by the time Joe Biden stopped speaking, it was really, really late, and I was really, really tired, and I couldn't wait for them to actually have a write-up for the story. What happened? DNC Day 1 was awesome in a standpoint from a programming platform. The RNC did basically the same sort of things, although their message was a bit more dour, a bit more sort of cranky, and once you got to Day 4 and Donald Trump, everything went off the rails. Day 1 had a lot of great names, a lot of great talent. It was kind of a bit of a showcasing the Afro-American and the Latino sort of talent. There was a lot of that going on, which seemed like the same thing for the RNC. A lot of the black talent got on Day 1, but a lot of young talent, a lot of great names, a lot of stuff going on, and a lot of chat that went way too long. The biggest hit for the night would be, of course, the Kamala Harris surprise appearance after her promos opening the night, basically right after Tony Goodwin came out and said, hey, or actually, I think he came out after she did, opening up things. It was weird how that thing happened. And then, of course, the highlight of the night was Joe Biden, who came after AOC, who came after Cori Bush, who came after Jim Clyburn, who came after Jill Biden, who came after Ashley Biden, who didn't get started until literally a half hour before the primetime show was going to be done, about 9:30 Central Time, or essentially 10:30 Central. No, take that back. About 10:30 Eastern Time. I can't even get my time straight, whatever. Basically, he came out, after. I think it came out like after primetime, because my time straight off. He spoke until about 11:20 Central Time, which is 12:20 Eastern. So the biggest thing was he got pushed out of primetime. He essentially was up way past his bedtime. I'm up at 3 o'clock in the morning to get this thing going. And it was a slug to get through that. It wasn't a bad speech. It just was, he didn't get started till 30 minutes till the show should have been over. And he went 50 minutes in his actual speech. It was a good speech. Whatever they pumped him up with in those couple times, they pumped him very, very well. In fact, I paid attention to it. It was turn of the hour. It was 11 o'clock, 30 minutes in. We had this first sort of verbal gaffe going on, and people sort of giggled and went with it. And then he went 20 more minutes on this one. It was a good speech, and it was a great send-off to a guy who's probably not happy he's being sent off, but it was a night of love for Joe Biden and the sacrifice he's made in his career and the sacrifice he's made to sort of get out of the way so they can win the election, and a night to start the coronation, start the celebration, start the pump up of Kamala Harris. I've said often, Kamala Harris is not my favorite candidate. I was not voting for her when she was running for president, like against Joe Biden. I'm going to vote for her because she's running against Donald Trump. Not that she's necessarily terrible, but I wish there were other candidates. But she's what we have to vote for. So she's what's out there. Your opinions on this one can go as far as you want to. Apologies for going really long in this rambling sort of thought process, but there's a lot that happened in the thing last night. Oh, Hillary Clinton doing her bit to talk about the glass ceiling, putting cracks in the glass ceiling, but not quite breaking it, and the sort of, let's call it poetic justice that as she's talking and she brings up the fact that he's now a convicted felon, the chance of lock him up became a stopping point that kept her from giving her speech for almost 2 minutes. A great night for day one. I'm not sure how they covered this with day two, especially with Kamala Harris appearing on day one the way she did. But they got 3 more days to do this, including the big speech by Miss Kamala, Miss Harris. We'll see how they play this going forward. These two beautiful people right here made a beautiful kid. And right now they're making us beautiful. Well, not quite beautiful. They're making lots of content because they can't get along and the kid's involved. And that's where things get sad. But you guys want to talk about it. Halle Berry seeks sole custody of son Maceo after Oliver Martinez refuses to co-parent in child-centered way. Those are kind of in quotes. Halle Berry is seeking the sole legal custody of her 10-year-old son, Maceo, from her ex-husband, Oliver. It might be Olivier. I'm not sure. Martinez in her filing. Berry claims that Martinez has been uncooperative in co-parenting and has refused to communicate effectively regarding their son's upbringing. Legal move comes a year after Berry and Martinez finalized their divorce, and Berry's decision to seek sole custody reflects the ongoing difficulties in their co-parenting relationship. Something that I know from, I guess, firsthand or secondhand, I guess, there happen to be a lot of people in my orbit who are dealing with divorce right now. I guess it's a trend. Every 10 years, there seem to be divorcing people around me going forth. And these people going around me are dealing with issues with kids around the same age. So it's a very touching age for the children and where things happen. And when the two sides aren't getting along, whether one side is really being sort of grouchy about it or both sides are just taking out on each other, it's a bad thing. I hate to be cliche and say think about the kids, but they should at least think about the kids. Even they're both famous and rich, so the kid will have plenty of time to blow off steam and have therapy and just be a rich kid. I mean, you're Halle Berry's kid, so life won't be so bad in that sense. Think about the kids. Don't think so much about your reputation because you can always rebuy yourself out of that, but think about the kids involved. Oh, the kid in me is thinking about this one so much. Mike Tyson feels so good after a health scare and is ready to reschedule his bout with Jake Paul. Air quotes, punch him in the face. I added the air quotes there. Mike Tyson has resumed training back in the ring and is ready for his rescheduled boxing match against Jake Paul after his recent scare that postponed everything. Tyson had to deal with some health issues, so the match got pulled off the card. But since recovering and getting back into the ring, getting back into shape, getting back into the fight game again, he feels good. The match is highly anticipated and has been postponed, but back on the docket as Tyson prepares to face Jake Paul in the ring very, very soon. This is something that millennials, I guess, are, hoping to see a good showing by Jake Paul, and Gen Xers just want to see the man get punched in the face. A whole lot. Now, the good thing about this is it's going to be a fairly good fight based on how well Tyson actually can still move around the ring. Tyson, of course, the baddest man on the planet 30 years ago, still a pretty fierce looking guy, still in good shape. How well he moves around the ring will be one thing. Jake Paul has proven to be a very good boxer, a very capable boxer, a very good athlete. The biggest thing is he's fighting has-beens and wannabes for the most part, people who have been out of the game, whatever, and fighting them to draws. But he's fighting people who aren't exactly in their prime. He's not, in fact, exactly fighting Conor McGregor or those type of guys in the ring. He's fighting, not that Mike Tyson's past his prime, but yeah, he's not fighting for any championships anytime soon. It's for money. It's for cash. It's for glory. And we're all for it as long as Jake Paul gets punched many times. Many times right in the face. Our fourth story turning out to be a bigger story than I thought from the get-go. Number one, the reaction from Becky Hammon and her lawsuit was a big deal. That got a lot of people shaking. A lot of response from you guys. It was a top story by leaps and bounds when we posted it out there, and surprised me by the number of responses. And now the response coming from the Aces and head coach Becky Hammon is saying that didn't happen. Nope, not at all. The headline reads exactly, Aces coach Becky Hammon says Dearica Hamby's mistreatment allegations didn't happen, as a quote. She's a head coach of Las Vegas Aces, and she's publicly denying what was said by Dearica Hamby. So essentially what you have is two people saying the opposite thing. So they're not mistaken. One of them is probably lying. Hamby, of course, filed this lawsuit against the Aces against mistreatment, said that she revealed her pregnancy in the summer of 2023 and then was traded. Treated bad, then traded to another team. Hammon responded in the claims, asserting that the allegations, the mistreatment itself, just didn't happen. The situation brought significant attention to the team, the broader issues of how pregnancy and related matters are handled in professional sports. Because it's much different from taking maternity leave. If you're the CEO of something, you can, take a phone call here or there. Someone can take over your job. You can hand them a binder full of stuff to go whatever. If you play for a professional team and you have to leave the team in a serious part of time, not due to injury, something hurting you, but something natural like pregnancy, it becomes an issue, and it becomes a serious issue. Hammon says the issue wasn't a real one, at least as far as harassment was going. Hamby says, my lawsuit is valid. Some news that came in yesterday, a little bit scary, a lot scary, very concerning. Intelligence groups say that Iran-backed hacking attempts in Biden, Harris, and Trump campaign is behind, I should say. They're behind the hacking attempts. We heard about the Trump campaign being hacked a few days ago. Essentially hacking attacks against Biden as well by the Iranians or Iranian-backed groups. One of the weird things about these things, sorry, a little drink for hydration to kind of get a bubble out, is that Iran is one of our biggest threats out there. And it's not that they're going to actually attack us directly, because that's not what they do. What they actually do, that's really rude, I'm sorry, is send proxy groups, smaller terrorist type groups that they can fund on lower levels to do their own bidding, because they're doing it on their own accord. Hamas, things like that, Hezbollah, things like that. They train folks because they're doing it for their safety, and then they let them go out and do their own things. They also back a lot of terrorism, including a lot of things like hacking, things like that. So we are finding out that the Iranians, who basically had some sort of plot to assassinate Donald Trump as well in the workings, which was thwarted by an assassination attempt by just some random guy. So now they're not doing that. They're back to the standard in the shadow, skulking and using hackers to get information. They officially hacked the Trump campaign. What they actually got, other than just the dirt on J.D. Vance, I don't know what's out there. But they also apparently been working on the Harris and Biden campaign, or the Biden-Harris campaign, or the Harris-Walz campaign, or whatever you want to call the campaign. Been working them as well. Big, scary things going out there, and scared that some of these people are doing very bad things with our data. Keep your data safe. Bad things coming to this guy. Well, maybe not bad things, but not so great things. Let's put it that way, because you shouldn't wish bad things on people. Although this guy might be an exception. George Santos reaches a plea deal and pleads guilty to wire fraud and identity theft. This is dealing with criminal charges from his last run for Congress, where he essentially basically ran for an office, lied about everything, his background, his resume, what he was going to do, and then got into office and basically was just kind of a silly little goose. Literally just a silly goose the whole time while he's out there. He's going to have to spend at least 2 years in jail from this plea deal. He won't be sentenced until February 7th of next year. So still plenty of time to be George Santos, I guess. Here's a story I didn't want to touch, but I put it out there to gauge your engagement. You put it out there. I'm not sure, because I didn't get a lot of comments physically from this, why you engaged it. So I'm not sure if you're hate loving it or love hating it. But here's the headline. We're going to read it clean, and we're going to move away from it pretty quickly. Boxer Imane Khelif shows off new makeover after Olympic gender row. Algerian boxer Imane Khelif has recently revealed a new makeover following her participation in the Paris 2024 Olympics. Her performance at the Games sparked an online controversy centered around her gender, leading to widespread debate. Despite the challenges, Khelif has emerged as a strong figure, not only winning a gold medal, but also addressing the public with confidence, showing off her new look as part of her response to her intense scrutiny she faced. Now, of course, she is the female boxer who got trashed for winning in boxing because she's probably better, but she is born a female. She is a woman, but she has a condition that has extremely high levels of testosterone in her body. So she looks like a man, fights like a man. It's a pretty pretty stout woman. In fact, in her first bout, the boxer she faced, who apparently wasn't all that great, quit after about 38 seconds because she never got hit that hard. And it turned into controversy because it was like, why is this man beating up this woman when she actually is a woman? She just happens to have a lot more testosterone than other women. We're backing away from it at this point. I'm not sure exactly how the response. This wasn't a top rate. This wasn't like 1, 2, 3, but it was a very high rated story and within the top 15 stories that we had for the day. So you guys responded to it. You guys got into it. You guys wanted to talk about it. We have put it out there. You want to go deeper into it? I need some comments. I need some perspective. Give me some comments on what you think about the story, and we will do them as, let's say, tastefully as possible. Let me know your vim and venom, and I'll try to take it down a few notches. And we're so glad we got the story in there. The story was not a highly rated in the top 15, but it was right there. It was in. So we want to talk about this one. The king of daytime talk, Phil Donahue, dies at the age of 88. Not much spotlight for him lately because I realized he was actually had an illness for quite some time. But the legendary talk show host and TV journalist Phil Donahue, host of the Phil Donahue Show of all things, passed away on Sunday, age of 88. Of course, king of daytime talk. He, back in the day, essentially pioneered the format, putting people on, putting all sorts of things. He was the one that brought in white supremacists, brought in the nudists who sat around with mics around their necks, essentially, doing things, and just being Phil Donahue. He was a staple of TV in the daytime, and of course, brought a sort of weird but wanted and needed thought process for women, because back in the day, there were still a lot of homemakers, a lot of ladies at home watching soap operas, and he brought more or less coherent talk and thought process, and spawned things like Oprah, spawned things like Sally Jesse, spawned my love of my life, Ricky Lake, who may actually be my next ex-wife going forward. It's things like that could not have happened without Phil Donahue essentially revolutionizing the talk show format and doing it 30 years on TV. One show, 30 years. That guy, syndication, making it happen. We are mourning the loss of the guy. We still love his wife, Marlo Thomas, who he's been married to for over 40 years. There's so many things we can say about Phil Donahue. We can spend a whole 20 minutes of the show doing Phil Donahue talk, but we're wrapping up for the show right here. This is the eight stories, so we're done. Our condolences, much love, many flowers going on to the real GOAT in daytime. That is Phil Donahue. Let's go to our teaser story for this morning. This is a story that we could talk about tomorrow. Yesterday's teaser story was Mike Tyson getting back into the ring, getting ready to fight Jake Paul very, very soon. Today's teaser story, when we talked about it before, brought up a lot of engagement. Let's see how much engagement we get to go deeper into the story. Guess what? Star Wars The Acolyte is canceled after one season. That's it. There's your tease. There's your story. We pulled the link from comicbook.com, so there's many places to chat it up. If you want to chat this one up, we need you to engage in this story, engage in this link. Let us know this story is worthy of talking about. And it's very simple. We'll take the top 15 stories of today by engagement, and we'll give them a shot to be talked about in the 8 stories we choose to have in this headline. So if you want this one in there, you follow us on our feeds on Facebook and x.com/th_conversation, facebook.com/this is a conversation project. What we do is every 50 minutes, more or less, we post news articles for you to engage in. Now, the caveat today, we posted a story about the DNC convention, but then used a different story to replace it because it was more fresh. So that happens sometimes. We do have some swerves here or there, but it's a valid swerve. It's a story we had about the convention that we used the updated convention news because that was the actual story. Here, we're asking you to just engage in the stories as they come up, and literally just click on the little button, the emoji face, to say you acknowledge what you think about it. Love, hate, whatever. Share it with other people so more we can see it. Engage and comment so we can chat up what's good about it or not so good about it. Do the things you have to do to show engagement. Higher engagement score that a story gets, the very chance we were talking about it in the next day. As I said, Tuesday through Friday, it's 8 stories. On Monday, it's 10 stories because we have 3 days to choose from, and it's that simple. You make it happen. You literally make it happen every single day. Go to our feeds. Let us know what stories you're talking about for Wednesday. For this Tuesday, we're once again talking about YouTube TV. And once again, we're going to probably flub the reader, but just bear with me here. Let me get the meat and potatoes out right now. We're going to give you, at least they're going to give you 15 off. I'm giving 15 off for using my link because it's there for the free trial. Plus you get $10 off your first 3 months going forward. So my 15 specifically from me, plus just being a new user, $10 off. That's $45 off YouTube TV for the first 3 months. It's that simple. And it's the best way to get TV these days. Even though TV itself technically isn't TV, I watch it on screen number 1 over here while I'm sitting at this desk. And mostly, I'm not interacting with my family. I'm sitting at this desk with my 7 TV screens or 7 computer screens. One of them is actually TV. And I'm doing stuff. I have news on most of the time on one channel. I'll have some theme background, like sometimes sports. Football's coming on, so I'll have some CNN or some MSNBC in the background low, and then the game on one going forward, because you can do that. YouTube TV is your home for NFL Sunday Ticket. It's the actual home for NFL Sunday Ticket. It's a home for all the sports packages, all the media packages, your great news package, and more, and 100 plus live channels with no contracts, no hidden fees, and 6 DVRs for the family on all your devices, TV, phone, tablet, computer, wherever you want to watch it. We got you. Your little smart device. I got a smart device. I got a Google thingamabob over there. I'll play things on that sometimes and let that play while I'm working on the bigger screens. YouTube TV is a godsend, and you need to get into it now. If you've not cut the cord yet, I don't know what your deal is. If you've been off any sort of long streaming cable package, now it's time to get back in with something like YouTube TV and get all the channels that you want. So many you'll run out of time for channels. It's that much content. It's that good. $45 off thanks to me and YouTube TV. Check it out by using our affiliate link. So we get a little kickback from that $15 off. We get a little back from that as well. The Conversation Project's website, this is theconversationproject.com/YouTube. This is theconversationproject.com/YouTube TV. So you can get that full discount and great shot for YouTube TV. Quick shout out about us, a bit of extra call to action again today, because we are almost there. As I said yesterday, we are basically days behind in the count for our hours viewed. Right now, we're still under 50 hours. We got about 10 extra hours in. So now we're, under 40 hours or so from hitting that 3,000 watched hours mark in 365 days, which means we're going to see if we get monetized. We're going to see if we get monetized, because I've had some issues with some channels in the past that had some click issues and AdSense issues. We're going to see if we get monetized going forward, which will help things going forward with us here. If we can get monetization, that means we're closer to basically having this thing take care of itself with less bad ad reads, because the AdSense will take care of part of us, hopefully. You can help us out by watching more videos, sharing the links to our videos on YouTube so that more people watch it and we get those last hours, because we hope, based on hopefully a fairly good weekend and a good day yesterday, we have those actual time. But right now, I think it's counting up to the 15th or so. Today's the 20th, so we're days behind. We will see what's going on. We have a nice little big old pocket of deadness due to us moving back into the tornado house and not having a setup for a couple days. So in a few days, we're going to lose a whole bunch of views and have to gain those back in spades. So we're hoping you will help us gain more views. If you're not down with views, get more listens. Follow us at wherever your pods are caught, and look for the links for where your podcatchers or have us at our website. This is theconversationproject.com. In the meantime, just keep watching, keep enjoying, keep doing what you can do, even if you don't think you're going to get us pushed past the limit. Follow us in the feeds and tell us what we can do to impress you and improve on the work at our email address. The email address is actually theconversationinbox@gmail.com. Consider being a partner, considering seeing more sponsors, considering finding out all the spaces where we are to be a part of the family, because you are family. We are done with the first show. That is the news. We've got you some promos. We've got you some business. We did all the stuff. Let's have some fun. This is things you might ought to know for Tuesday, August the 20th, 2024. Starting off with birthdays and much love. Another GOAT in the industry. There's anytime you get a chance to celebrate Al Roker is a great chance. And if it's a random Tuesday, and this isn't a random one, this is his birthday, it's a great day to do it. Al Roker turning 70 years old on the day. The Today Show weatherman who got to start off in New York weather. If you read his biography, how he got started in weather, it was essentially a fluke, if you will. And one of the funniest stories about that was, he's doing weather. He told his mom, "I'm doing the weather." She said, "What channel?" And I think it's like it's channel 7, but it's in, it's not in town, it's in Syracuse. So it doesn't matter. It's the channel. Tell what channel it's on, it's there. And, she can figure out why she couldn't see her son doing the news, because it was channel 7 in Syracuse and not New York City. It's a funny story. This guy loves some Al Roker. And, if anybody has bad words to say about Al Roker, I think we're going to have to fight. We may have to actually fight. Also, birthday wishes out to Huy Quan, who is 53 years old on the day. Of course, love from the Goonies, love from Indiana Jones' Temple of Doom, love from being in everything all over the place and this, that, and other. And, of course, love for being in the Loki series. This guy is having a renaissance of time over a long-spanning career, and he deserves it. 53 years old on the day. Love for Demi Lovato, who is 32 years old today as well. Our history lesson. Today, back in the day, on the 20th of August, we celebrate the official end via Andrew Johnson of the U.S. Civil War. Johnson says, on this day, it's done. 1866 on this day. Let's jump 100 years, 103 years to be exact. All 4 Beatles were together in the recording studio for their final time, wrapping up the album on Abbey Road. That happened on this day, the 20th of August in 69. And in 2020, jumping about 50 years, Kamala Harris accepts her nomination for vice president to become the first U.S. woman of color of a major party ticket. That's both of African-American descent and of Indian descent. Just in case you didn't know, she is both part Indian, part Asian too, because because India is in Asia, and part African-American, or part, because she's part black. That part gets confusing because her father's from the Caribbean, so that gets a bit confusing. But the labels don't matter. She's black, she's Indian, she's Asian, she's all of it. She's islandish, and has a good shot of being the next president, which will make her the first woman president of the United States. If that happens, we're talking about the DNC convention right now. Day 1 was a hit. Will day 3, 4, and 5 work well? Will her speech work well come Thursday? We'll be chatting up the good stuff of that, or will we be tearing her down like we did Fridays after Trump had his great start and then went carnage and whatever. A little extra Harris in this one, but we shall see. History made on this day, history being made this week. We will see. Let's talk about not so much history, although it's history because it took a while for this word to be created and used, but words, vocabulary. Your word for the day, which you can find at thebigwordsproject.com, is ruse. Ruse is a trick, stratagem, or artifice. Used in a sentence, the spy used a clever ruse to gain access to the classified documents, pretending to be a maintenance worker. And that's like every single plot to every spy movie. So I can't give the AI real props for that sentence, but it's properly used. He did a better job than I would have mucked it up. But a ruse. A ruse is a clever trick, or this is a clever ruse in the thing. It is a trick that's used to confuse someone. This is one word you'll probably use fairly often. This affirmation I hope you use fairly often as well, because it's a good one. Every day brings new opportunities and experiences. It acknowledges that each day is filled with new opportunities and experiences to reinforce a positive outlook for yourself and make you more open to recognition and embracing of the chances that may arise, that things may happen, lead to a more optimistic view of life. This will help you enhance your positivity and optimism on your day. Saying that every day brings new opportunities and experiences, well, it's true. Something new happens every single day, or something new gets remixed for a chance to do something every day. It may seem like it's a routine thing, but you get a chance to give a smile to someone that brightens a different person's day every day, or give some sort of assistance to someone who you didn't think was going to really make a difference going on. The smallest things really work, and every day there's new opportunities to do small and sometimes large things to broaden people's experiences. Sometimes it can be a pain. Sometimes it can be sort of a burden, if you will, doing so many great things. So tamper down a bit. Don't think you've got to go out there and be a hero all day long, but just remember that every day, despite being maybe a bit of a struggle, there's a new opportunity, a new experience, Sometimes the opportunity experience is not so tasty in the moment, but it helps you going forward. Finally, a day that everyone but my lovely sister-in-law can celebrate over and over again, but specifically because it's today, we gonna celebrate. It is Bacon Lovers Day. And the thing is, my sister-in-law actually, she likes bacon. It just may kill her because she's allergic to it. No one understands how you're allergic to bacon. I don't understand how that curse can come across such a beautiful woman, but hey, we can't cook bacon in the house when she comes over, which makes things sad. But she's wonderful. Meanwhile, August 20th marks National Bacon Lovers Day, a celebration of one of the most beloved foods. Few aromas are as enticing as the sound of bacon sizzling in the pan, ready to elevate any dish it touches. Bacon's significance in Western culture dates back to 1500 BC. They baking it before Jesus, baby, making it a culinary staple for thousands of years. It's cured meat. That's how they make it work. The sweet and savory delight of bacon has become so ingrained in our culture that we might just be part of DNA. The timeless love affair with bacon. Now, this is a pun that does not include people who are now getting essentially pig organs, because that's a thing. But bacon, 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 bacon. It's bacon. Bacon will be found somewhere along the way, definitely for breakfast, probably for lunch, and if I can sneak it in somehow, there'll be some bacon in some dinner. Love me some bacon day. Oh, if bacon's not your thing, it's also Hawaiian pizza day, which you can put bacon on your Hawaiian pizza, but Hawaiian pizza is all about actually Canadian bacon, which is ham, and pineapple. So today is the day to celebrate it. Also, chocolate pecan pie day, also tasty. And radio day. The first radio station went on the air in the United States on this day way, 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 way back when. We didn't use it as a history lesson, but we have a bonus history lesson as a celebration for radio day. So all my radio friends out there, so all of us loving radio, but some of us not so much in love with the business and not in the business anymore, pour a little one out for that. Show some love for radio day. Or radio with Cuba Gooding Jr.'s. Maybe that's your radio. That's my jam sometimes as well. Bacon jam is delicious. Oh, we got to get off this bacon. We got to get out of here. It is Tuesday, August 20th, 2024. I am Jay Cleveland Payne, and I'm wrapping this thing up painfully, but getting wrapped up for the day. We've got so many things to get into and a long day and a fast day happening, so we're going to get out of here with a little less jibber jabber as normal. Remember, our feeds are on Facebook and X, so if you go there and engage in the stories, we know what to talk about tomorrow. Consider being a partner. Consider seeing some more of our sponsors. Considering following us at other spaces. Go to our website. This is theconversationproject.com to see where we can be. And, of course, email us, conversationinbox@gmail.com, to see what you can see and chat about what you can chat and talk back and forth what's going on. You don't have to be a partner. Just reach out to me. Email me, and we'll chat up whatever you want to chat up in that manner right there. Life is such a great thing. Life is always great, even when your life isn't going so great. Remember that. And remember us throughout the day so we get our stories in. And remember to view us again tomorrow, whether we can hit the live button. Had some issues with the service that wouldn't send live, so it was a regular video yesterday. But we'll be there. Find us tomorrow. Find us today. Find us wherever you are so you can get some things you might not have heard to get your day started.